Hi students, this side is Harish. I am here to discuss chapter 2. The chapter name is Force and Pressure, Motion. Basically, in this chapter we will discuss some topics. The topics are mentioned here: rest and motion, type of motion, periodic and non-periodic motion, simple pendulum, uniform and non-uniform motion, distance and displacement, average speed, velocity, acceleration, mass and weight. So these all are the topics which will be covered under this chapter, right? So first of all, we will start from rest and motion. In our daily general life, we can see many objects are in stable condition. They are not movable, and so many objects are in state of moving. So this is all depend on the position and time. If the object is not moving with respect to time from its position, then it's called to be in rest position. And if an object moving with respect to time from its original position is called in motion, right? So you can see that in the given picture here, and one person is standing on the platform and train is passing away. So that means this person is in rest position with respect to train, because train is moving with time from its position, and man is just standing. So we can simply say that the train is in moving phase with respect to this person, and that's why these both terms rest and motion are relative to each other, because we cannot identify the object whether it is in rest position or whether it is in motion. The both terms will be explained with respect to each other. Suppose if one object is in rest position, then only we can say that the other object is in moving or in rest position, right? So now rest and motion are relative, as I already discussed to you. Now here is example illustration, rest and movement. So this is the exam I have explained to you. Now there are so many examples. You see vehicle moving on the road. So that means vehicle is in moving state with respect to road, because road is in rest position and vehicle is in motion. Similarly, aeroplane flying in the sky, children running in the park, water flowing in the river. These all are said to be in motion with respect to river, park, sky, etc. Now we come to the next page. Types of motion. Basically, there are so many types of motion. So we will discuss in this chapter the types of motion. Linear or translatory motion. If an object moves in a straight line or curve, its motion is said to be linear or translatory. Linear motion are of two types: rectilinear motion and curvilinear motion. Basically, linear motion, when any object is moving in a curved phase or in a straight line, then only it can said to be a linear or translatory motion. So here are this motion are categorized into two parts: rectilinear motion and curvilinear motion. If an body and an object is moving in a straight line, then it's called the rectilinear motion. Example, a ball rolling on a plain ground. As you can see in the figure, here is a ball which is moving on a plane. So the motion of this object is in a straight line. It's not moving in it is not deviating from its way. Now curvilinear motion. Curvilinear motion is the type of translatory motion. In this motion, the object move in a curved line. Object move in a curved line. For example, a car moving on a curved road, a stone thrown horizontally from a roof of a house, a motion of a flying kite. So these all are the examples where you can see that these objects just move in a curve, not in a straight line. So that's why its motion is called curvilinear motion. Circular motion. If an object is moving in a circle, if there is an object, he is moving in a circle way. So motion will be in circular motion. The example is revolving motion and rotationary motion, rotatory motion. Like moon and earth, they are moving around the sun and their motion is a circular motion. Now we come to the revolving motion. Revolving motion and rotational motion, these are the two are the different terms. Revolving, an object is called in a revolving motion if it is moving around an object, and if an object and the object is called in a rotationary motion. First of all, we will in a circular motion there are two types: revolving motion and rotatory motion. First of all, we will discuss about the revolving motion. When an object changes position while moving in a circular path, its motion is said to be a revolutionary motion. Example of revolving motion: a stone tied string revolving in a circle, planet like Earth revolving around the sun. Like here is we can understand the revolving motion with the help of this diagram. In this diagram, you can see our planet are moving around the sun, and here sun is in our center and the planets are moving around this sun. So that's why the motion of the planets are called in revolutionary motion. Now rotation motion: when an object moves around a fixed point without changing its position. In the previous one, the planets are changing their position with respect to time. But in rotationary motion, they are not changing their position, they are just rotating on a single fixed point. Right? So that's the difference between rotation and revolutionary motion. For example, rotational motion can be understood by this figure. This is the spinning top showing. This is the spanning top. Here, a spanning top is just fixed on a single fixed point, and it is rotating or moving around a fixed point. So that's why this motion is a rotational motion. Oscillatory motion: when an object moves to and fro along the same path is said to be an oscillatory motion. Basically, the object is hanged to a fixed point, and an object, like in this figure, an object is hanging to a fixed point and it is moving from to and fro. That means from left extreme to the right extreme. So this kind of movement is called oscillatory motion. The pendulum of a wall clock, we are the example. Pendulum of a wall clock and a swing in children's park are common example of oscillatory motion. Sometimes we observe situation where some part of the body move again and again to and fro while other not. When this happens, the body is said to be a vibratory motion, which is a kind of oscillatory motion. Sometimes we observe situation where the part of body is not to and fro while the other do not. When this happens, the body is, sometimes what happens, the particle of an body will not be visible whether it is in 2/4 motion or whether it is just vibrating in a very little amount of space. If an object, the particle of an object is moving in a very limited space, so that movement of the particle in that object is called in a vibratory motion, and this is also come under the oscillatory motion. Vibratory motion. Vibratory motion is called the oscillation motion in which the object undergoes change in shape and size. The spring of a sonometer, when plugged, start vibrating. The motion of the string is vibrating motion. Expansion and relaxation of our chest muscle when we breathe in and out is a common example of vibratory motion. Here in this paragraph, I want to say, here we can understand what is the vibratory motion in the detail. Here are two examples. First is a string of a sonometer. When we plug, start vibrating. In the sonometer, when a string is start, we plug the string and it start to vibrate. And as we again put our finger or any other object on that string, then it stop to vibrate. Expansion and relaxation of chest muscle. Our chest muscle are repeatedly shrinking and growing, expansion and relaxation will occur in the chest muscles when we have the process of breathing. So these both are the example of vibratory motion. Here we cannot see the to and fro motion, but they are repeatedly doing the same process, but the to and fro motion is just converted into the some other path, and it is forming a circle of motion. Like in to and fro, it start from mean position to the extreme right, then it again come to the mean position and go to the extreme left, and it's again come to the mean position. So this whole round is simply called the oscillation. Okay. So oscillation is not, we cannot just identify oscillation with the help of to and fro motion. It can also be possible to identify with the help of expansion and relaxation in chest, and vibration in string. So oscillation can be measured from here also. So that's why it is a oscillatory motion. Now come to the repetitive motion. Motion which occur again and again are called repetitive motion. With the time an object is moving in a motion repeatedly again and again. So this is the repetitive motion, like flickering of eyelids, आँखों का फड़कना, movement of lips while speaking, hand of man rowing a boat, and finger of a person playing a tabla. Like in this figure, you can see that if the person who is playing the tabla, it beats the tabla repeatedly by its fingers or by its hand, so that tabla can be playing. So this type of motion is called repetitive motion. Periodic and non-periodic motion. All repetitive motion do not take place at regular interval of time. The motion which repeat themselves at a regular interval of time are a periodic motion. Listen, repetitive motion are of two types, periodic and non-periodic. In the periodic motion, the repetition will be come after a fixed particular time. In a non-periodic motion, the repetition is not, we cannot say that repetition will be in a fixed time. Okay, so that's the only difference. Here we can understand the periodic motion with the help of this diagram. Here it is fixed that how much time will Earth take to revolve around the Sun. Okay, and how much time Earth take to move around the Moon. So this is the fixed interval of time, and repetition happen again and again. So this is the periodic motion. Now we come to the non-periodic examples. A swing of arm of a person, a common example of non-periodic. If suppose a person who is sitting in this figure is playing tabla, but to generate a proper rhythm of the tabla, it's not it cannot hit the tabla at a fixed time. It can change its motion to hit the tabla, because to generate the sound which is much favorable for us. Okay, so this is not periodic, and this is a periodic. Simple pendulum. As earlier we have already discussed about the oscillatory motion. So we will get the general idea from there for simple pendulum. An ideal simple pendulum consists of a heavy point mass suspended on a rigid surface with a weight in extended spring, but it is difficult to analyze its actual bob mean position. As I already told you, in an oscillatory motion, there is an object hanging to a wall from a fixed point toward the earth. All right. So what actually happened when we start to when we make the pendulum start to move, then we hit the bob to any either in any one direction, whether in left or right. So what actually happened, initially it is in rest position, and the rest position is marked by, suppose that okay, there is no any figure. Suppose this is a bob, and this is hanging to a ball from a fixed point, and this is the string. It is not stretchable. All right. So when we hit the bob to move, then what actually happen? Whether we will hit from in this direction or in this direction. Suppose we hit the bob to move in this direction, and initially it is in rest position, and this is called, we will mark this position with the point O, and this point O will called a mean position. Alright, so the bob start to move in a extreme right position to R and from here again it back to the mean position, and again it go to the left, and at the extreme point where it move will be the L, and again it's come back to the O position. Okay, so this motion is called oscillatory motion, and this is happening in simple pendulum. So this is the all working and the structure of the diagram of simple pendulum. A simple pendulum which has a time period of 2 seconds is called second period. Time period of 2 seconds. That means when bob starts from here to right and again back to the mean position and again to left and come to the mean position. If this rotation is taking only 2 seconds, then pendulum is called the second pendulum. I hope you understand. The length of second pendulum at a place where G is equal to 9.8 meter per second square is nearly 1 meter. The second pendulum is independent of amplitude, and its frequency is 0.5 Hz. So this is the parameters which is fixed for the second pendulum. Terms related to the simple pendulum. Now we have already discussed the working and the diagram and the position of bob, string and fixed point and its movement. Alright, and its position of mean to extreme right and extreme left. So now what are the relative terms used in the simple pendulum we will discuss here. First of all, we will start the oscillation. As I already told you, the pendulum will start to move from mean position to extreme right, then again back to the mean position and go to the extreme left and again back to the mean position. So this type of movement is called oscillation. Now amplitude of a oscillation. The maximum displacement of a bob from its mean position, whether in right direction or in left direction. Maximum displacement. So here the maximum displacement is up to here. So from here to extreme right or from here to extreme left. So this is called the amplitude of this simple pendulum. Time period. The time taken to complete a one oscillation. What is the one oscillation? One oscillation is the displacement of the bob from mean position to right, come back to the mean position and go to the extreme left and come back to the mean position. This is the one oscillation. And to complete the one oscillation, the time complete to one oscillation is called the time period. Okay? And this is represented by the in second. Frequency, the number of oscillation complete the bob in 1 second. As I already told you about the one oscillation, and in 1 second, the number of oscillation is happening are called the frequency. Suppose in 1 second there are 6 oscillation, then frequency will be 6. The number of oscillation completed by the bob in 1 second is frequency, and the formula for the frequency is frequency will be equal to the frequency is reciprocal to the time period, or time period is the reciprocal to the frequency. Length of pendulum. Length of pendulum is the distance from the point of suspension to the pendulum to the center of the bob. So this is the length of pendulum. Actually, we can understand the length of pendulum from this figure. This is the rigid support on which the pendulum is suspended. So from here to the center of the bob, this length is called length of a pendulum. Alright. Force affecting the time period of a simple pendulum. As you know, the oscillation of a simple pendulum is totally depend on some factors like nature of material of bob. The time period of oscillation does not depend on the material of the bob. Whatever material is inside the bob, that doesn't matter to the time. That does not affect the time period of the bob. Now come to the period of oscillation. The time period of the oscillation is dependent on the amplitude. As long as the amplitude will be of pendulum, then the period of oscillation will be higher. Length. The time period of oscillation is in simple pendulum is directly proportional to the square root of its effective length. That means the time period will be the maximum if the length will be maximum, because it's the directly proportional to the time. Length is directly proportional to the square of the time. So here we can understand, if the directly proportional, that means if the length will be increased, then time period will also be increased. Mass of the bob. The time period of the oscillation does not depend on the material of the bob provided. Whatever mass or whatever is the nature of the material, what time period will be totally dependent on the length and the period of oscillation. Uniform and non-uniform motion. If an object is changing its position with respect to time, then it is called uniform motion. When object cover equal distance in equal interval of time along the straight line. That means if two objects are moving in a straight line, one object is covering equal distance in equal interval of time, then it is called uniform motion. And the other object who is in a straight line and it is covering the unequal distance in equal time. That means suppose we are driving a car in a uniform motion. That means suppose our car is running 25 km in half hour. Okay, 25 km in half hour, and again next 25 km in half hour, again next 25 km in half hour. Then it means the motion of the car is a uniform motion. Suppose our car is moving in a straight road with a speed of 25 km in half hour, and next 25 km in 40 minutes, and next 25 km in distance will be unequal. So suppose in first half hour the distance is 25 kilometers distance is covered, in next half hour 30 kilometer distance is covered, and next half hour 40 kilometer distance is covered. So that means this kind of motion is non-uniform motion. So I hope you understand uniform and non-uniform motion. Now we come to the next topic, distance and displacement. You know, distance and displacement both can be measured in same unit, that is meter or kilometer, etc. But the difference is that distance cannot be suppose we are starting to travel from a single point to any other point. Okay, so if from this point we are traveling to a B and B dash. So here distance is from this point is O and this point is B. So here we have traveled from O to B, like this is the 5 centimeter. So our distance is 5 centimeter. And again and here we reached on the B point. Here distance is 5 centimeter and displacement is the 5 centimeter. Again if we back to the initial position, that means O. That means here here distance will be 5 plus 5, that means 10 centimeter, and displacement will be 0 because it starts from initial position and is back to the initial position. So the distance, the shortest distance between the initial and and the last position will be the displacement. And here the initial and last position of the object is same, so the displacement will be 0. Here we can understand the distance and displacement from this figure. In the figure 2.17, the object starts from A to D. So it travels from A to B, B to C, and C to D. So our total distance traveled will be 3 plus 2 plus 5. That means 10 meter. If we talk about the displacement, then the shortest distance from A to D, like this. This is the shortest distance from A to D. So this distance we can calculate with the help of mathematical formulas. So whatever will be this distance, and this distance is called displacement. Right? Here you can see that one student is going from home to school, passing from A to D to E and then C, and here from A to B to C, and here A to F to C. Okay, so these are the 3 ways to reach the school, and though in this case our distance can be vary from A to C, in this case, in this case, in this case. In all 3 cases distance will be different, but displacement from A to C will be the same, and it will be the straight line from A to C, and this is the minimum distance travel from initial to the destination position is called displacement, right? Now, unit of distance and displacement, I already told you, CGS unit is centimeter and SI unit is meter. Zero displacement, I have already told you about the zero displacement. If a boy moving in a park in a circular way, and it start to move in the park from initial position O, and it's moved to the boundary of the park, and suppose it's travel 4 kilometer. It's travel 4 kilometer. So that means distance covered by the boy will be 4 kilometer, and it's again back to the initial position here, the point O. So here, if he back to the initial position, then displacement will be 0. Average speed. Total distance travel divided by the total time take gives the average speed. Suppose, as you know, we cannot drive our car or our vehicle in a uniform motion. So sometimes we accelerate our vehicle, and sometimes we just retardation is also there. So what actually happens? We will calculate the average speed, and we for the average speed we sum up the all distance traveled by the vehicle, and we will divide the time taken to travel that distance. So our average distance will be calculated. Now this is the formula of average speed. Average speed is total distance covered upon total time taken. Velocity. Velocity is similar to the speed, but here in speed is equal to distance upon time, but here we will just use the displacement. Velocity is also measured by the displacement. Velocity is the displacement oblique displacement divided by time taken. So displacement can be 0, distance with respect to distance. So we will just keep in mind whether we are measuring the distance or displacement. In case of velocity, we have to use displacement, and I already told you the difference between the distance and displacement. So here the difference in this speed and velocity, it is the scalar quantity, this is the vector quantity. Here in the speed we have no any direction mentioned, and then the velocity, the direction is mentioned. It cannot be 0, it may be 0 because displacement can be 0. Speed can be either 0 or positive, the velocity can be 0, positive or negative. Alright. So here type of velocity, uniform velocity. If the object is covering equal distance in equal time, so this is called the uniform. If an object is covering equal displacement in equal time, so it is called uniform and variable velocity, the displacement will be variable. Unequal displacement in equal interval of time. Average velocity, as we have already calculated the average speed, so similarly we can calculate the average velocity. For the average velocity, we have to total the displacement and divided by the time taken. Acceleration. With the time, if our speed, if our velocity is increasing, that means the object in accelerated motion. Acceleration can be calculated by change in velocity with respect to time. Okay, so here u is the initial speed and v is the final speed. So in final speed, we will, if we reduce the initial speed and divide by time, then acceleration will be calculated. Unit of acceleration and unit of speed will be same, meter per second square, because the distance and displacement both are measured in a meter in SI unit, and time is speed and time is measured in a second. And here acceleration is a velocity divided by time, and velocity or speed is unit is meter per second and divided by time. Time means second. So the second, so we finally can say that it is the meter per second square. If the SI unit meter per second square, or CGS unit is centimeter per second square. The decreasing velocity or slowing down in the usually is called deceleration or retardation. Okay, if the velocity is increasing with the time, then it is in acceleration. If the velocity is decreasing with respect to time, it is in retardation or deceleration. Uniform acceleration, as you know, uniform acceleration means the uniform velocity with respect to equal time. Okay, when the time is changing, the velocity is uniform, then it is called to be in uniform acceleration. Equation of uniform acceleration, it can be, as you know, velocity is u plus at. Here a equal to acceleration and t time, or u is equal to initial velocity. So finally we can calculate the velocity. If the acceleration is applied, then velocity will be u plus at. And here speed, distance covered with the velocity v and acceleration a in the time t, then distance covered will be ut plus 1/2 at square. Alright. So in case of retardation, the plus sign will be replaced by the minus sign, because it will the speed and the velocity will decrease with the time. So in the case of retardation, velocity will decrease, so we will place the sign of minus. Alright, and it's obvious, if velocity will decrease, then the travel distance will also be decreased. So here will also be used the sign of minus. Mass. The mass of an object is measured by the measure of the amount of matter in it. Any object, what the actual material inside the object, it's called mass. Unit of mass, SI unit is kilogram and CGI unit is gram. And in 1 kilogram there is 1000 gram, or we can simply say 100 kilogram will be a 1 quintal. Measurement of mass. Mass can be measured by the beam balance. Mass can be measured with the beam balance. Actually, this is the diagram of beam balance. Here you can see that 2 pan is suspended to a pointer. Okay, this is the beam, and beam is equal in the both sides. So we can measure the mass with the help of these pans. Here in this we will use the standard unit to measure the weight of mass of any object. So object will be placed in either of the pans, and the standard mass will be placed in the either of the pans. So comparatively we will calculate with the help of this beam balance. Weight in the factor of weight, the one term is also added, that is gravity. Okay, gravity is applied to the every point of the object. Yeah, we can say the every point of mass, the gravity will be applied. Finally, for to calculate the weight, we have to include the factor of the gravity. Okay, so here we can understand the weight of an object. It is simply calculate weight. Weight is easily called force of gravity, and force of gravity equal to mass into field strength. Field strength is called gravity. So in the symbolic form, we can say that weight equal to mass into gravity. Here, for the each particle or each point of mass, there will be gravity. So we will calculate the weight, simply multiply mass with the gravity. In generally we will take the value of gravity 9.8 Newton per kg, roughly 10 Newton per kg. It is commonly called acceleration due to gravity. If we fall any object from a height to the surface, then the velocity or the speed of that object will be increased because of the gravity. Okay, unit of weight. Weight can the SI unit of weight is Newton. Gravitational unit of weight. So this is the one gravitational force equal to 980 dynes. So this is the fixed parameter to calculate the gravitational unit of weight. Measurement of weight. Weight can be measured by the spring balance. This is the spring balance you can see in the figure. Here spring balance is we have attached any object to this spring balance. The earth's gravity will apply on this object, and the all mass will have some effect of gravitational factor of earth, and finally we will calculate the weight here on this scale. This is the different scale, and simply we can calculate from here the weight of an object. Change in value of weight due to the change in acceleration due to the gravity. Actually, as you know, the gravity is different from different planets. Like on Earth, the gravity is measured like 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, and on the Moon, it is different. Okay, and equator it is 9.78 meter per second square. Okay, so this is the different planet the gravity will also be different. So suppose if we have a object and whose weight is 10 kilogram on Earth, so it is not sure that on the other planet the weight will be 10 kg. Maybe because there is a different value of gravity, so there will be different weight can be measured on other planet also. So it totally depends on the gravity of that planet. Difference between mass and weight. So as I already discussed about difference between mass and weight. Okay, so we can just check in a single side. It is quantity of matter inside the body, and it is the force which is body pulled toward the Earth center. It is constant throughout the universe. Mass cannot be vary whether on this planet or whether in another planet. Vary from place to place. Weight actually varies with the because gravity is different on different planets. So and different planets and different position, different locations also. It measured by beam balance, it by spring balance. SI unit is kilogram and SI unit is Newton. So this is all explanation about this chapter, and I hope you like the explanation of the chapter 2 in physics. Okay, in the next we will discuss about the question answers and book exercise of this chapter. Thank you. Hi students, this side is Harish. After the book explanation of chapter 2 in physics, class 7th, now we will discuss about the question answer and book exercise. So here in this page you can see the first question is select the correct options, and the question number first is the motion of the finger of the person playing tabla is. जो पर्सन तबला प्ले करते हैं उनकी फिंगर्स का मोशन है उसको हम क्या कहते हैं? तो that particular type of motion is called repetitive motion. So the answer number B is correct. Now number second, what type of motion does the potter's wheel have? Potter's wheel का motion है वो किस type की motion है? So the right answer is B, circulatory. Now third, the motion of the moon around the earth. As you know, moon revolve around the earth and it complete a circle in a fixed time. So the answer will be B, periodic. Now number 4, the SI unit of speed is. स्पीड की SI यूनिट क्या होती है? द करेक्ट आंसर इज बी, मीटर पर सेकेंड. नाउ नंबर 5, इफ अ बॉडी स्टार्ट मूविंग फ्रॉम रेस्ट, व्हाट इज इट्स इनिशियल वेलोसिटी? अगर एक कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट या कोई भी बॉडी अगर रेस्ट पोजीशन से मूव करना स्टार्ट करती है तो उसकी स्टार्टिंग में जो उसकी वेलोसिटी होती है वो क्या होती है? तो राइट आंसर इज बी, 0 मीटर पर सेकेंड. नाउ कम टू द 6th वन, व्हाट इज द रेट ऑफ चेंज ऑफ डिस्प्लेसमेंट कॉल्ड? डिस्प्लेसमेंट में जो चेंज होता है टाइम के साथ उसे हम क्या किस टर्म के नाम से जानते हैं? द राइट आंसर इज बी, वेलोसिटी. नाउ लास्ट नंबर 7, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट अ वेक्टर क्वांटिटी? इनमें से दिए हुए ऑप्शंस में से कौन वेक्टर क्वांटिटी नहीं है? सो द राइट आंसर इज ए, डिस्टेंस, बिकॉज इट डजंट डिनोट द डायरेक्शन, इट्स जस्ट हैव द वैल्यू ऑफ द covered location. So that's why answer is A. And the rest of the 3 terms are the vector quantity because direction is mentioned in the all 3 terms like distance, displacement, acceleration and velocity. Now come to the fill in the blanks. So first is, if a body changes position with respect to its surrounding, then it is said to be in motion. अगर कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट या कोई भी बॉडी अगर टाइम के साथ अपनी पोजीशन चेंज करती है तो उसे हम मोशन में कहते हैं. नंबर 2, इफ अ बॉडी डजंट चेंज द पोजीशन विद रेस्पेक्ट टू सराउंडिंग, इट्स सेड टू बी इन रेस्ट. इसके अपोजिट अगर कोई बॉडी टाइम के साथ अपनी पोजीशन चेंज नहीं करती है तो उसे हम कहते हैं रेस्ट. नाउ नंबर 3, नेगेटिव एक्सीलरेशन इज कॉल्ड रिटार्डेशन. दैट मीन्स, एज यू नो, when we accelerate our vehicle or any car or any moving vehicle, then if it is increasing the velocity with the time, then it is in accelerated mode. If the speed is velocity is decreasing with the time, then the term is called retardation. Now number 4, one complete to and fro motion of a pendulum is called one oscillation. As I already told you at the time of explanation of chapter, the to or fro motion of a pendulum is called oscillation. The number of oscillation executed by a bob of a pendulum per second is called frequency. That means एक सेकंड में कितने ऑक्सीलेशन एक पेंडुलम कंप्लीट करता है उसे हम फ्रीक्वेंसी के नाम से जानते हैं. नाउ कम टू द 3rd वन, स्टेट इफ द स्टेटमेंट आर ट्रू और फॉल्स, करेक्ट द फॉल्स स्टेटमेंट. फ्लिकरिंग ऑफ द आईलिड इज एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ अ सर्कुलर मोशन. जो आंखों का फड़कना होता है, फ्लिकरिंग ऑफ आईलिड्स, उस मोशन को हम क्या कहते हैं? तो वो मोशन होता है रिपीटेटिव. सो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज द फॉल्स. नंबर 2, द मोशन ऑफ अ फ्लाइंग कार्ट इज रिपीटेटिव. और उड़ती हुई पतंग की जो मोशन होती है वो रिपीटेटिव नहीं होगी, वो कर्वलिनियर मोशन होती है क्योंकि वो कर्व पाथ को फॉलो करती है. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज आल्सो फॉल्स. Now number 3, the length of a second pendulum is always kept as 10 meter. As you know, second pendulum at the time of explanation I already told you the second pendulum length is always 1 meter. So this is also false. Now number 4, a body moving with a constant velocity will have 0 acceleration. Yes, right, because acceleration is always count velocity divided by time, right? So velocity will not be changed, then obviously the acceleration will be 0 because velocity is constant with the time. The velocity constant with the time, then it's quite sure the acceleration will also be 0. There is no change in velocity, there is no change in acceleration. So this is true. Number 5, the weight of a body on the moon is 1/5 of its weight on the earth. Because on move the weight of the body of the moon is 1/6, not 1/5. That's why it's false. When a moving body finally stop, its final velocity is always more than 1 meter per second. If any object will stop to move, then velocity will also be 0. So the right answer will be 0 meter per second. So it is false. Now come to the next page, matching. In column A, number 1, motion of stone drop from roof of a house. अगर हम किसी घर की छत से अगर किसी पत्थर को ड्रॉप करते हैं तो उसकी मूवमेंट किस टाइप की होती है? द आंसर इज सी, ट्रांसलेटरी मोशन. द मोशन ऑफ द ब्लेड ऑफ अ फैन व्हेन इट स्विच ऑन. अगर हम किसी फैन को स्विच ऑन करते हैं तो उसकी ब्लेड का जो मूवमेंट होता है वो कौन सा होता है? द नंबर सेकंड आंसर इज सर्कुलेटरी मोशन बिकॉज इट फॉर्म द सर्कल. नंबर थर्ड, मोशन ऑफ द स्ट्रिंग ऑफ अ गिटार व्हेन प्लग. जब हम गिटार की स्ट्रिंग को प्लग करते हैं तो उसकी मोशन किस टाइप की होती है? द राइट आंसर इज थर्ड, वाइब्रेटरी मोशन बिकॉज द स्ट्रिंग ऑफ द गिटार स्टार्ट टू वाइब्रेट. नाउ नंबर फोर, डिस्टेंस and the right answer is A, cannot be zero. Distance can never be zero. Displacement can be zero. Velocity number fifth, the right option is D, vector quantity. As I already told in the select the correct options, the velocity also have a also indicate the direction, so it is a vector quantity. Now number 6, acceleration. The right answer is B, meter per second square, because acceleration is denoted by the velocity with respect to time. So velocity is meter per second and time is second. So the unit of acceleration will be meter per second square. Now pick odd one out. Give scientific reason for your answer. So here in the first four options are here: table, chair, flying birds, tree. So as you can see, except flying birds, the all rest of the three are in rest position. So the odd is flying bird. Number second, merry-go-round, charkha, wall clock, potter's wheels. So the except wall clock, the wall clock is in periodic motion and rest of them any other motion. Now number 3, weight, acceleration, speed, velocity. So if we talk about the weight, then we have no need of distance and displacement, and the rest of the term have use of distance and displacement. Now number 4, distance, displacement, mass and area. Except displacement, rest of the units have no vector quantity, and displacement is a vector quantity. Now come to the fifth, last one, oscillation, amplitude, frequency and book. Here except book, rest related to the oscillatory motion. In books there is no any oscillatory motion, so odd is book. So this is all about the book exercise. Now we come to the understanding ideas, and the first one is answer the following in one statement. हमें ये दिए हुए पांचों क्वेश्चंस के आंसर हमें वन स्टेटमेंट के अंदर कंप्लीट करने हैं. सो द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, व्हाट इज अ सिंपल पेंडुलम, व्हाट टाइप ऑफ मोशन डज इट हैव? फॉर द आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन आई हैव ऑलरेडी गिव यू बुक नोट्स, एंड विद द हेल्प ऑफ बुक नोट्स यू कैन फाइंड आउट द आंसर ऑफ द क्वेश्चन. सो आई हैव ऑलरेडी ओपन द book answer on my system. So first question I have already told you. The first question is, what is a simple pendulum, what type of motion does it have? So we now come to the answer one. So here are the answer. So answer number 1, you can see it is the system of heavy point mass suspended to a string by rigid support. It has a periodic motion. So basically सिंपल पेंडुलम क्या होता है? सिंपल पेंडुलम एक मास होता है जो कि एक फिक्स पॉइंट के थ्रू सस्पेंडेड होता है, लटका हुआ होता है, और इसके अंदर एक वायर होती है, एक स्ट्रिंग होती है. सो जब हम इसको मूव कराते हैं तो इसकी मूवमेंट जो होती है पीरियोडिक मोशन होती है. नाउ कम टू द सेकंड क्वेश्चन. सेकंड क्वेश्चन इज, व्हाट इज मीन्ड बाय द टर्म एवरेज स्पीड? एवरेज स्पीड को हम कैसे समझ सकते हैं? टोटल डिस्टेंस the total distance covered by an object in total time is called average speed. The SI unit of speed is meter per second. Just I have already told you when I explained the chapter that average speed calculated by the total distance covered divided by the total time taking to cover the distance. Okay, all right. Now come to the third one. Third question is, what is weight? What is weight? The right answer is the gravitational pull of Earth on an object toward the center is known as its weight. Okay, now we will understand it. Weight have a factor of gravity. As if a body that possesses some mass and every point of mass has the factor of or the effect of gravity. So the gravitational pull of Earth on an object toward its center. Every body which contain mass will get attracted toward the Earth's center because of the gravitational force. So this gravitational force is known as weight. Now number 4, what is the acceleration of the body moving with a uniform velocity? अगर कोई बॉडी यूनिफॉर्म वेलोसिटी मतलब इसकी वेलोसिटी में कोई भी चेंज नहीं हो रहा है तो उसका एक्सेलरेशन क्या होगा? As I already told you, in this case the acceleration will be 0 because the velocity is not getting changed with the time. Okay. Now come to the last one. Can a body have constant speed as well as variable velocity? If yes, give one example. Yes, for example, a car moving around a circle with constant speed. Okay, you can see that here if a car is moving in a circle, then what actually happen? The velocity will change because at some time the displacement can be 0, sometime the displacement can be maximum, and sometime displacement can be different measure. So here what distance will always be changed when the car move in a circle. So that's why acceleration will change, the velocity will change here, but speed will be constant. And finally, this is the justification of our answer. Alright, so this is all about the answer in one sentence. Now we come to the define. For the define, short answers, long answers, differentiate and think critically, we will follow our notes, handwritten notes provided by the teachers, and you already have attachment on a school mobile app and the WhatsApp broadcast. So first of all, open your notes, written notes, and I will explain the answer from there. So as you can see, here are 6 defined in this chapter. First, motion, rest, oscillation, amplitude, weight, and uniform velocity. So first we will start from motion. So I hope you all have already opened your the handwritten notes provided by the teacher on school app and WhatsApp group. So these are the notes. The answer for the first one, motion, the state in which an object changes position with respect to time. That means टाइम के साथ अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट अपनी पोजीशन को चेंज करता है तो उसे हम मोशन की कंडीशन में कहते हैं. नाउ सेकंड इज रेस्ट, द स्टेट इन विच एन ऑब्जेक्ट डज नॉट चेंज इट्स पोजीशन विद रेस्पेक्ट टू टाइम. दैट मीन्स अगर टाइम के साथ अगर ऑब्जेक्ट की पोजीशन चेंज नहीं हो रही है, दैट मीन्स इट इज इन रेस्ट पोजीशन. नाउ कम टू द थर्ड वन, ऑक्सिलेशन, वन कंप्लीट टू एंड फ्रो मोशन ऑफ द पेंडुलम. दैट मीन्स पेंडुलम को जब मूव कराते हैं तो वो अपनी मीन पोजीशन से एक्सट्रीम राइट, देन बैक टू द मीन पोजीशन, देन एक्सट्रीम लेफ्ट एंड बैक टू द मीन पोजीशन. सो दिस complete motion is called an oscillation. Amplitude, the maximum displacement of the pendulum of either side of its mean position. That means, as I already told you, initially any pendulum will be in rest position, and that position is called the mean position. And from the mean position, if we start to move the pendulum, then it will move in a maximum displacement from in the right direction or left direction. So the maximum displacement of the pendulum is called oscillation. So weight, force of attraction of earth on an object toward its center. It is the tendency of any object any object that it will always be attracted by the earth center. So this attraction will applied on the mass of any object. So so this particular force of attraction is called weight. Now number 6, uniform velocity. When an object cover equal distance in equal time interval is called uniform velocity. The velocity will be uniform when an object cover equal distance in equal time. Now we come to the next one. Here are the short question answer, and the first question is, rest and motion are relative terms, justify. So here is the answer. Rest and motion are relative terms. Without any reference object related with it, it is not possible to mention whether an object in rest or motion. अगर हमें कोई भी रेफरेंस नहीं मिलेगा, कोई भी रेफरेंस ऑब्जेक्ट हमारे पास नहीं होगा, तो हम ये नहीं पता कर सकते कि हम कि ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट में है या फिर मोशन में है. सपोज आप खड़े हुए हैं और आप लैंड के ऊपर खड़े हुए हैं, दैट मीन्स लैंड इज आल्सो इन रेस्ट पोजीशन एंड यू आर आल्सो इन रेस्ट पोजीशन. सो आपको कैसे पता लगा कि आप रेस्ट में हो? बिकॉज जो रेफरेंस ऑब्जेक्ट है, आई मीन लैंड, वो आपके साथ में, आपकी सराउंडिंग में वो भी रेस्ट में है. इसी वजह से आप ये आइडेंटिफाई कर पा रहे हैं कि आप रेस्ट पोजीशन में. सपोज इफ अ कार इज मूविंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू, दैट मीन्स यू आर इन मोशन विद रेस्पेक्ट टू अ पर्सन हु इज सिटिंग इन कार. जो कार में बैठा हुआ इंसान है उसके लिए आप मोशन में हो, क्योंकि आपकी जो पोजीशन है वो टाइम के साथ चेंज हो रही है. ऑलराइट, सो रेफरेंस ऑब्जेक्ट का होना बहुत जरूरी है. मैं रेस्ट और मोशन में डिफरेंशिएट करने के लिए. दैट्स व्हाई दिस बोथ टर्म आर रिलेटेड टू ईच अदर. नाउ कम टू द सेकंड क्वेश्चन. Speed and velocity have the same unit, yet they are different physical identities. Why? Listen. Velocity and speed. In terms of speed, we just measure the distance with respect to time, and in case of velocity, we measure displacement with respect to time. As you know, speed is a scalar quantity and displacement is velocity is a vector quantity. Because when we talk about the distance, then it's quite obvious there is some direction. If we talk about the displacement, there is no mean of direction. Alright, so we will check the answer. Speed is the scalar quantity, that is, it has magnitude only, but velocity is a vector quantity which has both magnitude and direction. That's the answer, as I already explained to you. Now come to the number 3rd. What is the principle of beam balance? Okay, in case of second answer, I just want to correct myself. As you know, speed is the change of distance with respect to time. That means distance doesn't have any direction, but in case of displacement, we always denoted displacement with the direction. So speed is scalar quantity and velocity is vector quantity, because in velocity there is magnitude as well as direction. Now come to the 3rd one. What is the principle of beam balance? What is the principle of beam balance? Now number 3rd. It works on the principle that two equal masses are placed in pan at either end of beam supported in middle, then beam will be balanced. Beam balance is used to measure the mass of any object, because as I already told you at the time of explanation, the beam balance is contain two pans on either side of a fixed rigid support, and beam is balanced to the both side. So if the beam is balanced when we placing the mass in the pans, then it will be that will be the principle of beam balance. The beam will be supported in middle and it will be balanced in both sides. Now come to the long answers. First long answer is, what are the factors that affect the time period of pendulum? As I already told you, when the pendulum will start, it has some time period. That means it will take some time to complete one oscillation. So that oscillation or that time for the oscillation will depend on some factors. So these are the factors. First, nature of material of bob. That means bob के अंदर का जो मटेरियल है वो किस टाइप का है उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. सेकंड, लेंथ ऑफ पेंडुलम. पेंडुलम जिस स्ट्रिंग के साथ बंधा हुआ होता है या सपोर्टेड होता है उस स्ट्रिंग की लेंथ कितनी होती है. पीरियड ऑफ ऑक्सीलेशन. दैट मीन्स एक ऑक्सीलेशन कंप्लीट करने में उसे कितना टाइम लगता है. मास ऑफ बॉब, और उस बॉब का मास कितना है. सो दीज आर द 4 फैक्टर्स ऑन विच द टाइम पीरियड इज डिपेंड. नाउ कम टू द नेक्स्ट आंसर. Second question is, a car moving on a crowded road is an example of non-uniform motion. Explain. जैसे कि आप समझ सकते हैं कि जब हम किसी क्राउडेड प्लेस में अपनी कार ड्राइव करते हैं तो वहां पे स्पीड को कांस्टेंट रखना कांस्टेंट नहीं रख सकते. सो दैट्स वाई आंसर इज द यूनिफॉर्म स्पीड मोशन. द स्पीड ऑफ एन ऑब्जेक्ट रिमेन कांस्टेंट, but a car on road change its speed as per required and direction too. कहने का मतलब ये है कि जैसा कि हमें पता है जब क्राउडेड रोड है, लोग हैं उस रोड पे, तो हम एक ही स्पीड के साथ हम उस रोड से क्रॉस नहीं हो सकते. तो हमें सामने आने वाली चीजों के अकॉर्डिंग हमें अपनी स्पीड को चेंज करना पड़ता है. सो जब स्पीड चेंज हो जाती है दैट मीन्स इट इज नॉट अ यूनिफॉर्म स्पीड. Now come to the third one. Question number 3 is, explain the meaning of rectilinear and curvilinear motion. Give one example of each. Rectilinear motion. If an object moves a straight line, its motion is called rectilinear motion. अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट एक सीधी लाइन में अपनी मूवमेंट करता है तो वो रेक्टिलिनियर होता है. जैसे कि बॉल रोलिंग ऑन अ प्लेन ग्राउंड पर जो बॉल रोल करती है उसकी मोशन रेक्टिलिनियर होती है. कर्वलिनियर मोशन, इफ एन ऑब्जेक्ट मूव्स इन अ कर्व लाइन. अगर हम किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट को थ्रो करते हैं या उसको मूव कराते हैं, अगर वो एक कर्व लाइन को फॉलो करती है दैट मीन्स द मोशन इज curvilinear motion, like bullet fired from a gun. Now come to the fourth one. Which instrument is used to measure the weight of an object? Explain it working. जैसा कि मैंने आपको अभी थोड़ी देर पहले बताया था कि बीम बैलेंस से हम मास को मेजर करते हैं, लेकिन वेट को मेजर करने के लिए हम बीम बैलेंस की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है. बीम बैलेंस के थ्रू हम मास को मेजर करते हैं और वेट को मेजर करने के लिए हमें स्प्रिंग बैलेंस की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है. स्प्रिंग बैलेंस इज यूज्ड टू मेजर द वेट ऑफ एन ऑब्जेक्ट वर्किंग. अब ये कैसे काम करता है? स्प्रिंग बैलेंस वर्क ऑन द प्रिंसिपल दैट द स्ट्रेचिंग ऑफ अ स्प्रिंग इंक्रीज यूनिफॉर्मली विद द वेट पुलिंग इट. मोर वेट स्ट्रेचिंग द स्प्रिंग मोर. कहने का मतलब जैसे कि आपको पता ही है कि स्प्रिंग बैलेंस के अंदर जो एक स्प्रिंग होती है, जब हम उसके साथ में किसी वेट को सस्पेंड करते हैं, लटकाते हैं, तो वो स्प्रिंग स्ट्रेच होना स्टार्ट होती है और उसकी जो जितनी वो स्ट्रेच होती है उसी के अकॉर्डिंग हमारा जो स्केल होता है, स्प्रिंग बैलेंस के साथ अटैच जो स्केल होता है वो हमारा मूव करता है और वहीं से हम उसकी रीडिंग को ऑब्जर्व करके हम बताते हैं कि इस ऑब्जेक्ट का वेट कितना है. नाउ वी कम टू द डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन. द फर्स्ट डिफरेंशिएट इज ट्रांसलेटरी एंड सर्कुलर मोशन. Translatory motion. If an object move in a straight line or curved line, then it is called translatory motion. Means if we have an object and the path of motion of the object is linear. Linear means it is in straight or curved. So that's why this is the translatory motion or curvilinear motion. Curvilinear motion. If an object move in a circle, then it is called circulatory motion. In translatory motion, the object move in a straight line or curved line, and the opposite circulatory motion, the path followed by an object will be circle. Okay, so we will talk about the example. In translatory motion, the example is car moving on a straight road, and in circular motion, planet revolve around the sun. Now, second is uniform and non-uniform motion. The answer is when an object on the part of uniform motion, when an object cover equal distance in equal time. Alright, अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट इक्वल टाइम में इक्वल डिस्टेंस कवर करता है तो वो यूनिफॉर्म मोशन होता है, और अगर इक्वल टाइम में अनइक्वल डिस्टेंस कवर करता है, जैसे फर्स्ट 5 मिनट में 10 किलोमीटर, फर्स्ट 15 मिनट्स में 10 किलोमीटर, नेक्स्ट 15 मिनट्स में 20 किलोमीटर, सो दैट मीन्स अनइक्वल डिस्टेंस इन इक्वल टाइम. सो दिस इज नॉन यूनिफॉर्म मोशन. नाउ वी कम टू द थर्ड वन, distance and displacement. It is a scalar quantity. First of all, as you already know, the distance has no any factor of direction, so it is a scalar quantity. It depends on the path covered by a body. So the distance, whatever path is covered by a body is called distance. It cannot be zero. Once an object is start to move, then distance will not be zero. It is always positive because it always go in forward direction. Okay, so it cannot be negative. It always be positive. Displacement is a vector quantity. It has the factor of direction, so it is a vector quantity. It depends on final and initial position. We always compare. To measure the displacement, we always look around the initial and final position. Alright, if initial and final position is same, then displacement will be zero. That's why it can be a zero. It can be positive, negative, or zero. It depends on the initial and final position. Now, mass and weight. इट इज द क्वांटिटी ऑफ मैटर कंटेन इन द बॉडी. एक बॉडी के अंदर जितना भी मैटर कंटेन होता है उसे हम मास कहते हैं. इट इज कांस्टेंट थ्रू आउट द यूनिवर्स. किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट को आप किसी भी प्लानेट पे या फिर किसी भी डिफरेंट लोकेशंस पे आप लेके जाते हैं तो उसका मास चेंज नहीं होता है. इट इज मेजर बाय अ बीम बैलेंस, क्योंकि मैंने आपको बताया था कि मास को मेजर करने के लिए हम बीम बैलेंस यूज करते हैं और उसकी एसआई यूनिट किलोग्राम होती है. नाउ कम टू द वेट. इट इज द फोर्स with which body is pulled toward the center of earth. जैसे कि मैंने बताया था कि मास के किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट का जो मास होता है उस पर एक फोर्स अप्लाई होता है और उसी फोर्स की वजह से वो अर्थ के सेंटर की ओर अट्रैक्ट होता है, और इसी फोर्स के अट्रैक्शन को हम वेट कहते हैं. इट वेरी फ्रॉम प्लेस टू प्लेस, क्योंकि ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन डिफरेंट लोकेशंस पर डिफरेंट होता है. एक प्लैनेट से दूसरे प्लैनेट्स पे भी ये चेंज होता है, सो इसकी वजह से इसकी वैल्यू डिफरेंट होती है. इट इज मेजर्ड बाय द स्प्रिंग बैलेंस. इसको मेजर करने के लिए हम स्प्रिंग बैलेंस इंस्ट्रूमेंट का यूज करते हैं और उसकी एसआई यूनिट न्यूटन होती है, जिसे हम एन से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. नाउ वी कम टू द थिंक क्रिटिकली. द मोशन ऑफ पेंडुलम इज सेड टू बी बोथ ऑक्सिलेटरी एज वेल एज पीरियोडिक, बट द मोशन ऑफ अर्थ around the sun is only periodic, not oscillatory. Explain the reason. जैसे कि हमें पता है कि पेंडुलम के अंदर पीरियोडिक और ऑक्सिलेटरी दोनों मोशंस हम दोनों मोशन हम देख सकते हैं, लेकिन जब अर्थ सन के अराउंड मूव करती है तो उस टाइम पर सिर्फ पीरियोडिक मोशन होता है, ऑक्सिलेटरी मोशन नहीं होता है. तो उसका रीजन है बिकॉज At the time of the motion of earth around the sun is periodic, not oscillating, because when the earth move around the sun, then it doesn't follow the path of to and fro motion. That means to और fro motion का path ना होने की वजह से ये motion सिर्फ periodic होती है, इसे हम oscillatory motion नहीं कह सकते. Now we come to the numerical section. First numerical is a cycle traveling a uniform speed cover a distance of 9 km in 30 minutes. Find the speed of the cyclist in meter per second. That means एक साइकिलिस्ट है जो साइकिल चलाते हुए यूनिफॉर्म स्पीड में साइकिल चलाते हुए 9 किलोमीटर की डिस्टेंस 30 मिनट में कवर करता है, मतलब 30 मिनट में 9 किलोमीटर चलता है. तो हमें उसकी स्पीड कैलकुलेट करनी है. तो आपको पता ही है कि हम इसको मेजर करने के लिए क्या करेंगे, फिर हम इसकी यूनिट चेंज करेंगे. वेदर वी विल पुट द बोथ यूनिट इन किलोमीटर पर आवर और मीटर पर सेकेंड. बट फॉर द स्टैंडर्ड यूनिट we just convert the kilometer in meter. So here is the solution. You can see as we have already know the distance covered by object is 9 kilometer. So kilometer can be converted into meter by multiplying 1000. So 9 kilometer will be equal to 9000 meter. Now this distance is covered in 30 minutes, and 30 minutes will be equal to 1800 second. That means 30 into 60. Now we need to calculate the speed. As we know, the speed will be equal to distance upon time. Distance upon time. There is some correction here. So speed equal to distance upon time. We will make it correct. Here will be time. Okay. So distance we know 9000 and time is 1800 second. So when we calculate this solution, then finally we will get the answer 5 meter per second. Now we come to the second numerical. An aeroplane travel with the speed of 750 km per hour. What distance does it cover in 6 hours of its flight? Okay. दैट मीन्स जैसा कि क्वेश्चन में आपको दिया हुआ है कि एक एरोप्लेन है जिसकी स्पीड है 750 किलोमीटर पर आवर, मतलब एक घंटे में 750 किलोमीटर वो चलता है. तो हमें 6 आवर्स में बताना है कि वो कितना किलोमीटर की डिस्टेंस कवर करेगा. तो आपको पता ही है कि डिस्टेंस जो होता है उसका फॉर्मूला होता है स्पीड इनटू टाइम. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन में हमने देखा था स्पीड इक्वल डिस्टेंस अपॉन टाइम. तो यहां से हम डिस्टेंस कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. तो डिस्टेंस होगी स्पीड इनटू टाइम. स्पीड इनटू टाइम. अब स्पीड हमें पता है 750 और टाइम है हमारा 6 आवर्स. तो इसको कैलकुलेट करेंगे तो हमें जो डिस्टेंस है वो मिल जाएगी 4500 किलोमीटर. राइट. नाउ कम टू द थर्ड वन. फाइंड द टाइम टेकिंग बाय अ बॉय वॉकिंग विद अ स्पीड ऑफ 6 मीटर पर सेकेंड टू कवर डिस्टेंस ऑफ 144 मीटर. ओके. अब हम यहाँ पे हमें स्पीड दी हुई है, डिस्टेंस दी हुई है, और इस डिस्टेंस को कवर करने में कितना टाइम लगेगा ये हमसे पूछा है. तो टाइम के लिए आप कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं फॉर्मूले से. हियर यू कैन सी टाइम विल इक्वल टू डिस्टेंस अपॉन टाइम. डिस्टेंस एज यू ऑलरेडी नो 144 मीटर एंड here is also correction. Here will be speed, not time. Okay. So time will be distance upon speed. So 144 upon 6, then time will be 24 seconds. So these are some correction in formula. So you make it in your fair copy. Make these correction in your fair copy also. Now come to the fourth one. A vehicle move 45 km in 30 minutes. Calculate its velocity in km per hour. Alright. यहाँ पे हमें व्हीकल की जो मूवमेंट है वो है 45 किलोमीटर 30 मिनट्स. दैट मीन्स 30 मिनट में वो 45 किलोमीटर कवर करती है. तो हमें इसकी वेलोसिटी बतानी है. वेलोसिटी आप समझते ही हैं, डिस्प्लेसमेंट अपॉन टाइम. तो हियर डिस्प्लेसमेंट है 45 किलोमीटर और टाइम है 30 मिनट्स. तो उस टाइम को हम कैलकुलेट करेंगे सेकंड में. तो इसके लिए हम 60 का मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे सबसे पहले. हियर यू कैन सी 4a. हमें जो आंसर कैलकुलेट करना है वो किलोमीटर पर आवर में कन्वर्ट करना है, किलोमीटर पर आवर। तो यहाँ पर डिस्टेंस तो हमें ऑलरेडी किलोमीटर में दी ही हुई है, डिस्टेंस तो यहाँ ऑलरेडी किलोमीटर में है ही है। टाइम को हमें आवर में करने के लिए, आंसर हमें आवर्स में करने के लिए हमें यहाँ पे इस टाइम को आवर में कन्वर्ट करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है। तो हम आते हैं इधर, डिस्टेंस 45 किलोमीटर, टाइम 30 मिनट्स, राइट। स्पीड इक्वल टू डिस्टेंस अपॉन टाइम इन किलोमीटर पर आवर। 45 अपॉन 1 इंटू 2 इक्वल टू 95 किलोमीटर per hour. Here is also correction in this solution. तो सबसे पहले हमें क्या करना है, हमें टाइम को हमें आवर में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा, डिवाइड बाय 60। एज यू ऑल नो वी हैव टू डिवाइड मिनट बाय 60 टू कन्वर्ट इन आवर। तो टाइम हो जाएगा हमारा 1/2 आवर। 30 डिवाइड बाय 60 इक्वल टू 1/2। तो यहाँ पे हम कह सकते हैं कि टाइम हमारा कितना हो गया, 1/2 आवर, ठीक है। तो यहाँ पर डिस्टेंस की वैल्यू हम रखेंगे 45, ये दिया हुआ है आपको, और टाइम की वैल्यू रखेंगे हम 1/2। अब 1/2 करने के लिए तो हम 2 हमारा ऊपर आ जाएगा, तो 45 इंटू 2 और हमारा आंसर हो जाएगा 90 किलोमीटर पर आवर। आई होप यू ऑल गॉट इट। नाउ द बी सेक्शन ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन इज मीटर पर सेकंड। अब मीटर पर सेकंड में कैलकुलेट करने के लिए हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा कि हमें टाइम तो ऑलरेडी हमें दिया हुआ मिनट में और डिस्टेंस दी हुई है हमें किलोमीटर में, ठीक है। तो हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा, मीटर पर सेकंड में कैलकुलेट करना है, तो पहले किलोमीटर को मीटर बनाना पड़ेगा और मिनट को सेकंड में कन्वर्ट करना पड़ेगा। किलोमीटर को मीटर में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए 1000 से मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा और मिनट को सेकंड में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए हमें 60 का मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा। तो ये सब चीज हम करते हैं, तो हमें ये चीज करने के बाद हम इसको डायरेक्टली हम एक चीज से समझ सकते हैं कि अगर हमें किलोमीटर पर आवर को अगर मीटर पर सेकंड में कन्वर्ट करना है, ठीक है, तो इसके लिए डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला होता है कि हम उसे 5/18 से हम उसे मल्टीप्लाई कर दें। किलोमीटर पर आवर्स को अगर हम 5/18 से मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं तो हमें डायरेक्टली मीटर पर सेकंड में वैल्यू मिल जाती है। या फिर आप इसे डायरेक्ट ना करके आप इसको सिंपली पहले किलोमीटर को मीटर में और मिनट को सेकंड में कन्वर्ट करके भी आप इसे कर सकते हैं, और फिर जो वैल्यू आप आएगी उसे आप स्पीड इक्वल टू डिस्टेंस अपॉन टाइम में पुट करेंगे तो आपको आंसर 25 मीटर पर सेकंड आपको मिल जाएगा। नाउ 5th वन, कैलकुलेट द वैल्यू ऑफ बॉडी ऑफ मास 500 ग्राम। तो ये कोई बॉडी है जिसका वेट है 500 ग्राम का, जिसका वेट है मास जिसका 500 ग्राम है, हमें उसका वेट कैलकुलेट करना है। तो वेट के लिए मैंने आपको बताया था कि वेट में जो फैक्टर इंक्लूड होता है वो ग्रेविटी का फैक्टर इंक्लूड होता है। यहाँ पे ग्रेविटी की जो वैल्यू दी हुई है, ग्रेविटेशनल एक्सीलरेशन जो हमें दिया हुआ है वो है 10 मीटर पर सेकंड स्क्वायर। तो फॉर्मूला हम समझते हैं सबसे पहले, दिस इज द फॉर्मूला फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन, वेट इक्वल टू मास इंटू ग्रेविटी। दैट मीन्स मास हमें पता ही है 500 ग्राम है। अब सबसे पहले हमें ग्राम को किलोग्राम में कन्वर्ट करना होगा, क्योंकि न्यूटन की वैल्यू में जब हमें वेट की वैल्यू अगर न्यूटन में रखनी है तो यहाँ पे मास की वैल्यू को हमें किलोग्राम में करना पड़ेगा। तो किलोग्राम में करने के लिए 500 ग्राम को किलोग्राम में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए हमें 1000 से डिवाइड करना पड़ेगा, तो वैल्यू आएगी हमारे पास 0.5 किलोग्राम। दैट क्लियर। ग्रेविटेशन ड्यू टू ग्रेविटी जो हमें ऑलरेडी दिया हुआ है 10 मीटर पर सेकंड स्क्वायर, ये हमारे पास फॉर्मूला होता है वेट इक्वल टू मास इंटू ग्रेविटी। जब हम जिसमें हम मास और ग्रेविटी की वैल्यू पुट करेंगे तो हमारे पास आंसर आएगा 5 न्यूटन। नाउ 6th एंड लास्ट वन, कैलकुलेट द मास ऑफ बॉडी हुज वेट इज 1000 न्यूटन। अब हमें यहाँ पे क्या दिया हुआ है, ग्रेविटी दी हुई है, वेट दिया हुआ है और हमसे मास पूछा है। तो हमारे पास फॉर्मूला हमें पता ही है, W इक्वल टू मास इंटू ग्रेविटी, ठीक है। तो यहां से हमें मास कैलकुलेट करना है, तो मास कैलकुलेट करने के लिए हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा, मास इक्वल टू क्या हो जाएगा यहां से, वेट डिवाइड बाय ग्रेविटी। हियर यू कैन सी दिस, मास इक्वल टू W अपॉन G। W इज ऑलरेडी गिवन हियर 1000 एंड ग्रेविटी इज 10, सो आवर मास विल बी 100 किलोग्राम। सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट चैप्टर नंबर 2, क्वेश्चन आंसर, बुक एक्सरसाइज, न्यूमेरिकल्स एंड थिंक क्रिटिकल। ऑलराइट, thank you. Now second important term is distance and displacement. Okay. So now here we will differentiate between distance and displacement. So we will understand these both terms with the help of this diagram, this and this diagram. First of all, suppose we are on A point, this is our home, and a boy has and this boy from A point will go to the B point, and here is the school situated. So he can follow 4 different paths. First path is from A, then C, then D, and then B. So this is the first path. And the second path is A, then C dash, then B. And this is the third path, A, then D dash, then B. And fourth path is directly A to B without any movement, without any other path. So now we will understand what is the distance here and what is the displacement. Distance can be more than 1. Here distance can be from A to B by using this path, and distance can be A to B using this path and A to B using this path. So there are three different distance will be there to reach the school by a boy. Okay, but displacement will always be a shortest distance from initial point to the destination point. Alright, so here displacement will be a single path from A to B, and this is the shortest path between the A to B. So this will be displacement. This is the displacement for all the distance, and distance can be different but displacement cannot be different. Now we will understand from this circle also. Suppose this is a park and a boy is moving from point A to B and then B to A. He is repeatedly making round around this park. So what happened? The distance traveled by the boy will be vary from one place to another place. But in case of displacement, it can be 0 from once the boy will start from initial point A and then it come back to the A, then displacement will be 0, because the shortest distance from initial point to the destination point will be 0. But if we talk about the distance, then distance, suppose this whole circle is of 400 meter, then distance traveled by boy from A to A point. To complete a one circle of this park, the boy will travel 400 meter. So distance will be 400 meter, but displacement will be 0, because the shortest distance between initial point A and come back to the A point will be 0. So displacement will be 0. Now we talk about the speed, velocity and acceleration. These three terms are very important in this chapter. So as we know, speed is the distance travel in a unit time. Suppose, but difference between the speed and velocity is that in terms of speed we use distance here, cover distance within a time. In velocity, cover displacement within a time. So displacement always need to the direction to represent, and in case of distance there is no means of direction. Here in terms of distance we just use the magnitude and there is no need of direction, but in case of displacement the direction and magnitude both are mandatory. So distance, once a person will start to move, then distance cannot be 0, but once a person will start to move, then displacement can be 0 when it comes back to its initial position. Alright, so this is the difference between speed and velocity. And acceleration is the change in velocity with respect to time. अगर टाइम जैसे कोई पर्सन मूव करता है तो टाइम के साथ अगर वो उसकी वेलोसिटी चेंज होती है, चेंज होने का मतलब वो उसकी वेलोसिटी बढ़ती है, तो वो चीज हमारी एक्सेलरेट होती है. और अगर टाइम के साथ अगर वेलोसिटी कम होती है तो उसे हम कहते हैं रिटार्डेशन या फिर डी एक्सेलरेशन. अब मैं इसकी यूनिट की बात कर लेता हूं. डिस्टेंस को हमेशा हम मीटर में मेजर करते हैं और टाइम को हम सेकंड में मेजर करते हैं, तो इसकी यूनिट बनती है मीटर पर सेकंड. velocity displacement is also measured in meter and time is measured in second, so it is also have unit meter per second. In terms of acceleration, this is the change in velocity with respect to time. Velocity is measured in meter per second and time is measured in second, so the unit will be meter per second square. Now third important term is mass and weight. Mass, actually what is the mass? What is the amount of matter in the body, या quantity of matter inside the body. जो बॉडी के अंदर जो भी क्वांटिटी होती है, जो अमाउंट मैटर का होता है, उसे हम मास कहते हैं. और ये आप कहीं भी चले जाइए, चाहे आप अर्थ पे हो या फिर मून पे हो या फिर किसी अदर प्लैनेट पे हो, वहाँ पे मास हमेशा इक्वल होगा. सभी जगह पे एक जैसा ही मास आपको मिलेगा. क्योंकि मास के अंदर कोई अलग फैक्टर हम इंक्लूड नहीं करते हैं. जैसे हम वेट की बात करें, फोर्स बाय विच बॉडी अट्रैक्ट टुवर्ड अर्थ सेंटर. ठीक है, तो ये टेंडेंसी होती है हर ऑब्जेक्ट की कि वो अर्थ के सेंटर की तरफ अट्रैक्ट होता है, और यही फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन हर बॉडी का वेट होता है. ठीक है, तो एक्चुअली क्या होता है कि एक ग्रेविटेशनल एक्सेलरेशन होता है जिसके थ्रू एक बॉडी अर्थ की तरफ अट्रैक्ट होती है, और यही अट्रैक्शन जो होता है वो पूरी बॉडी में जितना भी मास की क्वांटिटी होती है उस पूरी क्वांटिटी पे इक्वली वो अप्लाई होता है. तो जब पूरी बॉडी पे अप्लाई होता है तो उसमें ग्रेविटेशनल फैक्टर मास के साथ इंक्लूड हो जाता है. इसी वजह से उसको हम फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन भी कहते हैं. इसको मैं फॉर्मूले के थ्रू समझा देता हूं आपको. वेट इक्वल टू मास इनटू ग्रेविटेशनल एक्सीलरेशन, जिसे हम ग्रेविटी के नाम से भी जानते हैं. ठीक है, तो यहां पे क्या होता है कि वेट जो होता है वो मास के ऊपर अप्लाई होने वाला ग्रेविटेशनल एक्सीलरेशन का जो मैग्नीट्यूड निकलता है उसे हम वेट कहते हैं. ठीक है, कोई मास है, सपोज दिस इज एनी बॉडी एंड दिस इज द क्वांटिटी और मैटर इनसाइड इट. तो इसमें जितना भी एरिया है और उस एरिया में जितना भी क्वांटिटी है, उस पूरी क्वांटिटी पे ये जो ग्रेविटेशनल फैक्टर होता है, ग्रेविटी का एक्सीलरेशन होता है, ये इस पूरी बॉडी पे अप्लाई होता है. और ये ग्रेविटेशनल वेलोसिटी जो अप्लाई होती है, एक्सीलरेशन जो अप्लाई होता है, इसकी वजह से इसका मास का जो फैक्टर है वो अब मास ना होके वो मास इनटू ग्रेविटी में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है. और ये जो अट्रैक्शन होता है ये इसको अर्थ की तरफ अट्रैक्ट करता है. इसको हम वेट का नाम दे सकते हैं. नाउ इट वेरी फ्रॉम प्लेस टू प्लेस. जैसे कि मैंने आपको बताया कि मास रिमेन कांस्टेंट एवरीवेयर, बट वेट कैन बी वेरी फ्रॉम प्लेस टू प्लेस. लाइक अगर हम बात करें, अगर हम इस टाइम अर्थ पे हैं और अर्थ पे किसी बॉडी का जो वेट है वो 60 kg है, तो अगर हम उसी बॉडी को अगर हम मून पे ले जाते हैं तो वहां पे जो ग्रेविटी होती है वो ग्रेविटी हमारी अर्थ की ग्रेविटी की 1/6 होती है. ठीक है, तो कहने का मतलब उसका जो वेट होता है अर्थ की कंपैरिजन में 1/6 टाइम्स कम हो जाता है. ठीक है, तो कहने का मतलब 60 kg अगर अर्थ पे है तो मून पे उसका वेट 6 kg होगा. ठीक है, इसको मेजर करने के लिए जो हम एसआई यूनिट यूज करते हैं वो किलोग्राम होता है, और वेट को मेजर करने के लिए जो एसआई यूनिट होती है वो न्यूटन होता है. मेजर बाय बीम बैलेंस, हम मास को मेजर करने के लिए बीम बैलेंस इंस्ट्रूमेंट का यूज करते हैं, और वेट को मेजर करने के लिए हम स्प्रिंग बैलेंस का यूज करते हैं. बीम बैलेंस में क्या होता है, उसमें 2 पेन्स होते हैं जिसमें एक साइड में हम मैटर को रखते हैं या किसी भी बॉडी को रखते हैं, और दूसरी साइड में हम उसमें स्टैंडर्ड मेजर की हुई किसी और सबस्टेंस को रखते हैं. फिर उसमें कंपेयर करते हैं हम उस बीम के थ्रू. अगर बीम दोनों साइड से इक्वल हो जाती है तो जो स्टैंडर्ड यूनिट का जो मास है वही हमारे ऑब्जेक्ट का मास रहेगा. अब बात करें हम स्प्रिंग बैलेंस की. स्प्रिंग बैलेंस में क्या होता है कि एक स्प्रिंग होती है जो कि जब उस पर हम किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट को सस्पेंड करते हैं, अगर ये स्प्रिंग है, यहाँ पर बहुत सारे स्केल्स बने होते हैं. अगर इसमें हम किसी भी बॉडी को सस्पेंड करते हैं इसके साथ में, तो जो स्प्रिंग होती है वो स्ट्रेच होती है. स्प्रिंग की जो स्ट्रेच होने की जो टेंडेंसी होती है उसी से हम रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं कि उसमें जो स्केल लगा हुआ होता है वो उसमें मूव करता है, ठीक है। जितना स्ट्रिंग स्ट्रेच होगी वो उतना ही स्केल अपर डायरेक्शन में मूव करेगा, ठीक है। तो इसी मूवमेंट से हम यहाँ पे जो रीडिंग है उसको नोट करते हैं और यही रीडिंग हम उस ऑब्जेक्ट का वेट रिप्रेजेंट करती है। तो मोर स्ट्रेचिंग इन स्प्रिंग रिप्रेजेंट द मोर वेट ऑफ दैट बॉडी। ओके स्टूडेंट्स, नाउ वी विल discuss some important terms in physics chapter 2. So here the first topic is simple pendulum. As you can see in the figure, simple pendulum is basically a bob suspended to a rigid support, and this is the string. It is a weightless and unstretchable. Okay, and this is the representation of bob from position mean position to extreme position, and mean position to extreme position. This is the extreme right and this is the extreme left. So how the simple pendulum will work actually? There are some things related to simple pendulum. First of all, there need to rigid support where the pendulum will suspend, and this is the bob. This is the bob which is initially in rest position, and this position is called mean position. And when we start to move this bob in extreme in either right or left, it will go to its maximum in a left position, right position, then it's come back to the mean position and again go to the right, extreme right, and it's come back to the mean position. This complete circle of movement is called oscillation. All right, and the position in which the initially bob is staying in a rest position, this position is called mean position. And the maximum displacement from mean position to extreme position is called amplitude. All right, and this is the string, and the length of pendulum is called from rigid support to the center of the bob. So this length is called length of pendulum from here to here. This is the center of bob, and this is the point where bob is suspended. So this length is called length of pendulum. And the weight and mass of string will be negligible. So these are the terms. These are the terms related to the simple pendulum. First is oscillation. What is the oscillation? As I already told you, initially our bob is in the rest position. This is the mean position. All right. From this mean position, when bob will start to move from mean position to extreme right position, then it will come back to the mean position, then again go to the extreme left position and back to the mean position. This complete circle is called oscillation. Now second term is amplitude of oscillation. As the oscillation is the whole circle from extreme left to extreme right. So when bob start to move from mean position to extreme position, this is the extreme. There are two extreme positions, in left and in right and in left. So this is the maximum displacement from mean position to extreme position, and this displacement is called amplitude of oscillation. Now time period. Time period is the time which is time period is the time which is used to complete a one oscillation. Suppose we have already told you what is the oscillation, and in one oscillation whatever time is taking, so it is called time period. Now frequency. Number of oscillation in 1 second. Number of oscillation in 1 second is called frequency. Length of pendulum. Length of pendulum is the length from rigid support to the center of the bob. This length is called length of pendulum.